Hey guys, here at the Nike House of Training. What do you think of that name?
I think it's good. I like it.
I think it's pretty good.
It a lot, yeah.
With Matt Nichol here, one of the co-creators of the program. How long did that take to come up with?
Well, probably about 36 years, but myself personally, but no. It's something that Gary Roberts and I we've known each other. We've been friends for probably about 9 years now, and we've spent a lot of time always talking about training. Gary, even when he was a player, was passionate about training. He didn't just do it, because it's something he had to do. He lived it, he loved it, he loved talking about it. So we've often talked about, Gary's a father, and he's, what should kids do, He's got nephews and kids of his own. What should they be doing for training? And we've always talked about this throughout the year. What should young kids do? Should they do the kind of things that Gary does? Should they do different stuff? So when we had the opportunity, we were approached by Nike to put this program together. We spent a lot of time just sitting down and swapping ideas about, what did he do when he was 14? If he could go back in time and be 14 again, what would he do from a training perspective? And for me, with all the athletes I've worked with over the years, one of the things that I see time and time again with older athletes that frustrates me, and I think, man, I wish if they had just learned X, when they were 14, this would all be easier now. So that's sort of our approach to writing the program.
And what are some of those X's?
Well, I think a lot of kids, and I was one when I was an athlete, and Gary felt the same. We didn't pay attention to the tiny details. We didn't do enough work on core stability and all the tiny little muscle groups. When you're 15 and 16 and you're a guy, it kind of lends itself to you want to be macho and you want to lift the heaviest weight in the gym, which sometimes has its place, and you want to have big bulging muscles, which may or may not have a place in hockey. But I think it's attention to detail with the small movements, the core stability exercises. One thing that I think that a lot of kids fall prey to is the idea that they need to be in the gym training like a power lifter or a competitive weightlifter. Lifting heavy weights is important and it's beneficial, but you also need to be an athlete. You need to move, and so a lot of the drills we incorporate a lot of basic movement skills, a lot of track and field type drills, and that's something we felt very strongly about.
What are some of the things you inserted into the program that you just don't see people doing enough, or something that would be news to a lot of people in terms of a workout?
I think one thing people would be shocked if they actually saw the warm-up that we do. So our warm-up is usually as long as the workout, sometimes longer. And I think that's one thing, guys like myself, I don't know about you, but when you actually get the motivation to go to the gym, you just want to get at it. You want to get after it. And I think one thing that a lot of the athletes find is we warm up, an excessive amount. We do some kind of cool different little drills to activate all the muscles we're going to be using in our workout as part of our warm-up. But I have to say, I have had a few athletes that have come in, professional athletes, that when they finish the warm-up, they've turned to me and said, "Oh man, Matt, thanks a lot. It was a great workout. So what time tomorrow?" And I have to explain, no, that's the warm-up. That's the warm. We haven't started the workout yet. So that's a really important thing. So that's something that you'll see reflected in the program, and also just the incorporation of athletic movement. We're not sitting on stationary bikes and riding bikes. We're up on our feet, moving, adjusting, reacting, being agile like a real athlete should be.
I'm glad you were polite enough at the beginning of that to at least suggest I might work out. I kind of just started, and actually, again, it was like that crazy warm-up. I'm dying by the end of it. But right now it's 2 days later, and I'm still dying, still sore. What are some of the things you can do to recover?
Well, once you've already gone down that road, it's tough to go back. You've already dug yourself into a pretty deep hole that's going to take you a little longer to climb out of than it took to dig it. So,
well, yeah.
The best thing is to take a sensible approach from the start. So it's the same thing when I have an NHL hockey player in the summertime. The first few weeks of training, it's almost like rehab type work. It's really gentle movements. We're not in there heaving heavy weights around those first few days back. You got to ease your body back into it. A lot of these guys, they've just finished a playoff run, and it's a lot of times what happens is, they finish the playoff run, they have, the post-game celebrations, whatever, they get back, and all of a sudden they realize, oh man, I'm sore, but they get so caught up in the moment of the playoffs with the adrenaline, they don't notice these things, so we have to kind of get back to ground zero, get them healthy again, and then once they're healthy, then we can go at it hard. So a lot of times people, much like yourself, they get the flyer and they go, you know what, that's it. Today's the day I'm going to start, and I'm going to make up for the last year of slacking off by working extra hard today. And that's really, unfortunately, it's not the best approach. You got to ease into it.